Despite a disappointing start to the Panthers season with a record of 0-4, according to NFL insiders, the Panthers are on the warpath looking for a way to bring in some help. Also, it is week 5 of the NFL season, and according to some moves that the Panthers made, they could be getting some reinforcements on their offense soon and very soon. We got all that and more in this edition of Panthers News Today. We're starting right now. What up, though? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. Recap and analysis of the Carolina Panthers is what I do on this channel, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop videos, because I'm all over any kind of news updates with podcasts, film breakdowns, these kind of news updates, videos, and live streams as well. So I got a whole plethora of content, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing, because there's a lot of stuff going on with this Panthers team, and according to these reports that I'm just talking about, there's going to be more updates to be had, so don't miss anything and subscribe. But the first thing I want to cover in this edition is reports came out before the Panthers game on Sunday early morning, before you even have your cereal, is typical of time where a lot of NFL insiders like to break some news. And some news that came out from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport was that the Carolina Panthers, despite their rough start to the season, are actively and have been calling teams about potentially trying to trade for a starting caliber wide receiver. Now, it's no secret that the Carolina Panthers skill positions are some of the worst in the league. I just hate to throw so much shade on these guys, but it is what it is. They don't have a lot of speed. They don't have a dynamic weapons. They don't have a lot of playmakers. And when you invest a lot of money and draft capital, into a draft pick like a quarterback, you need to do whatever you have to do to surround him with talent. So I'm not really close to the Panthers putting their ears to the street and trying to see what's out there to find a starting caliber wide receiver. The article by Rappaport goes on to say that even though the team has started season 0-3, the Panthers have not signaled to other teams that they are interested in trading away players for draft picks, sources say. Now, this may be concerning for some fans because some people think we need to just start all over, start the rebuild all over again, reset the clock with everything, and build from the ground up, because we've kind of been stuck on the fence between a build and a rebuild. And I have to kind of agree there, but at the same time, that's not going to be how the front office feels. There's going to be a sense of urgency now that they've got that rookie quarterback on that rookie contract, and they're going to do whatever it takes to try to surround him with talent, because it's clear that we need help everywhere, from the offensive line to the wide receivers and weapons in general. You do not give up what you give up in draft capital to not put your best foot forward for your potential franchise quarterback. Some fans maybe even be taken back because to hear the reports of them not interested in trading players away, there's been a lot of rumblings from the fan base about potentially going ahead and trading Brian Burns and receiving draft capital, or going ahead and trading other players to try to get some draft capital, since they do not have a first-round draft pick in next year. I'm not a big fan of trading away talent and trying to acquire more talent to replace that. We've been down that road with Christian McCaffrey. We see how that worked out. He's the best running back in the league, potential MVP candidate, and we're still here trying to replace him. So I would be weary of doing a sudden move like that. But regardless, what kind of wide receivers are out there on the market? Just some names off the top of my head. Chase Claypool has been a healthy scratch for the Bears, as he's had some disgruntledness with them in terms of how they're using him in the system. Jerry Jeudy has had similar issues as well, even though he's been active. And with the emergence of a young wide receiver there, he may be the odd man out. Devontae Adams has voiced his displeasure in Las Vegas, and with their head coach maybe on the hot seat, he may want to get out. And of course, wide receiver T. Higgins, the former Clemson product who plays wide receiver for the Bengals, Jamar Chase, and with Joe Burrow just getting paid the highest paid contract in NFL history, there's not a lot of money to go around, so T. Higgins could be on the way out as he's going into his final year of his rookie contract. So those are all various names that would probably be various asking prices of terms of trade, but it just depends what the Carolina Panthers flavor is. They do want a starting caliber wide receiver, but unfortunately with the lack of talent we have in Carolina, any of those names could be a starting wide receiver on this team, including Chase Claypool. Now, the deadline for trading in the NFL is not until October 31st this year, so nobody's going to make any sudden moves unless things just go sour, which is what sounds like things have happened for the Chicago Bears and Chase Claypool. Regardless, Everybody wants to kind of get into the season a little bit more, see where they are, and if things aren't looking good by that week 7, week 8 trade deadline, they'll start reassessing things for the future and maybe start making trades then. So no trade will probably be imminent for the Carolina Panthers. However, stay tuned to see what happens, because we know we have a general manager that has made numerous trades in his career, whether it's offseason, preseason, during the season. This guy does not stay sitting on his hands in terms of making moves to shuffle this roster. So pay attention to that. Now, I will be open to potentially trading for a wide receiver if the right opportunity emerges, because with the state of our franchise right now, there's only going to be a few ways that we're going to be able to acquire talent. One is to go in the free agent market and spend. The Panthers do have some salary cap space next year, but I don't think they have enough to compete with any other more attractive destinations. Another way is just have a special team that you're building something, you're close to winning the Super Bowl, so more people will be attracted. They'll be willing to take a pay cut or maybe a hometown discount and come there. The third way is to trade guys, which is pretty much against their will. When you make a trade for most players, some players do have no trade clauses, but most of them have no say-so. So if the asking price is correct, you can bring them in. If you bring them in and they like the destination, they like the quarterback, they like the situation you have overall, then you can pay them money there. You don't have to worry about competing with other teams on the open market. If you bring in a T. Higgins who's looking for a contract, you can bid against yourself and currently, instead of having to bid against the open market who's going to be looking for a 6'5", 210-pound wide receiver that can go get a jump ball. Think about the Stephon Gilmore case where we traded a 6th-round pick for him. Had we got a contract deal done with him before he hit that open market, it would have been the perfect scenario, because we had a low-cost acquisition of an elite player who probably wouldn't have came to Carolina for any other circumstances, and we had him in-house. The previous regime and the current GM did not get the deal done to bring him back, but that's the ideal scenario that you look at when you're a low-market, small-market team like Charlotte and the Panthers, where not many people are going to want to just be here in the city because of the lavish lifestyle that comes with it. But I want to get you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Would you be open to the Panthers potentially trading for a wide receiver, or do you think they should just kind of roll with the punches this season and try to assess things next year, even though you don't have a 1st-round draft pick to go ahead and get that elite wide receiver in year 1? So I want to get you guys' thoughts, because some of you probably thought that we were cashing it in and probably just having a rebuild, but to hear that they're actually still active in the trade market, I want to get you guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Let me know down below. So I know the season hasn't started ideal for us Panthers fans, and the team hasn't really given us much to celebrate in terms of wins on the field, but that doesn't mean you can't take matters into your own hands and get some wins off the field. That's why I want to tell you about my partner, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest way to play daily fantasy football, and with their new pick'em function, it just got easier. The way it works is they release projected stats for every player, and all you have to do is pick higher or lower. If you make enough picks correct, you can win up to 20 times your money. So if Miles Sanders is projected for 64 yards rushing next week and you think he's going to stink it up, you can predict lower. And if you're correct, you can win up to 20 times your money. So what you're going to do is go down to the link below in the description and use code DUNKON100, and you're going to get 100% bonus deposit match on your first deposit up to $500. So if you deposit $50, they're going to match your $50. If you put in $300, they're going to match your $300. If you put in $500, they're going to match your $500 as well. It is giving you extra ammo to load the boat. Let's be honest. At 0-4, we don't know what week this Panthers team is going to get their first win. That doesn't mean that you can't leave your Sundays feeling a lot happier. So make sure you jump on Underdog Fantasy. Next up, with week 5 coming up, players that were put on the PUP list, the physically unable to participate list, are now eligible to come off, and that means starting right guard Austin Corbett is eligible to return from his ACL injury that he suffered in the final week of the season last year. Now, the Panthers media team has been posting updates of Corbett as we've gone by, but according to Frank Wright, he did not give a clear view on a timeline for Austin Corbett. However, there is a practice window that can open for him to return, and hopefully soon and very soon, because we are struggling up front on the offensive line. With the season being where it is, you don't want to rush Austin Corbett into that, and I don't think anybody saw our offensive line regressing this much just based off of one man, but we definitely need those reinforcements soon and very soon. So I would love to have Austin Corbett back in the starting lineup to really help round this group into shape, because I don't think we really understood how key of a piece he was to this group as a whole, but we definitely do now. And with the amount of hits and pressures that was given up by this offensive line, we need them reinforcements. And it's really been frustrating from a fan standpoint because I don't think anybody could have foreseen these struggles for this group up front, because these were the guys that we leaned on and depended on last year when things were going awry with Christian McCaffrey getting traded, when we had different quarterbacks playing. The one constant we had was the offensive line and being able to rely on them to run the football. But now we can't run the football. We struggle in pass protection. Things have just been going crazy for this team, and it's really, really disappointing to say the least. So any kind of help we can get from a vet like Austin Corbett to kind of help that interior core of the offensive line to prevent pressure right in Bryce Young's face will do wonders. So I'll be welcoming Austin Corbett back with open arms. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery and he's able to help contribute to this team soon and very soon. You guys let me know down below in the comments, how much do you think Austin Corbett will be able to help this offensive line, or do you think it's too far gone anyway and it doesn't even matter? Let me get your thoughts down below in the comments. But without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching this edition of Panthers News Today. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date on Panthers content. I am Aaron Duncan here, your host and founder of this channel. I'll see you next time. Peace.